Hello, and thank you for joining me. In this video, I am making a swatch bag. So I've seen a lot of folks make these where they take all of their old gauge swatches, pattern swatches, sew them all together and turn them into a project bag. I've seen Marley Knits do this. I've seen Well Loved Knits also do this. Bethany from Well Loved Knits. So I decided to do it as well. I think they're so cute, and I've been collecting swatches for like a year now, so I figured it would be a good time to try to do this. So there is a pattern that you can use. It's also easy to kind of figure out yourself. Just sew all the swatches together. You can line it with fabric if you want, but I decided to purchase the pattern that I've seen used before. Just this isn't my typical kind of construction where I'm sewing a bunch of things together and making a bag. I typically do seamless garments, so I wanted some guidance. So I bought the pattern. I'm forgetting the designer's name, but the information will be up on the screen. And I just put a, I'll have some videos of this too, but I put a painter's tape square or shape on my desk that is the size of one panel. So I need basically 2 panels of swatches to then stitch together to make the bag shape, and then I will eventually line it with fabric as well. So I just decided, instead of buying pattern, like sewing pattern paper or finding something to cut out, I would just put some tape on my desk in that shape. And so I don't want to give too much away. It is a paid for pattern, but essentially I'm ending up with kind of this T shape almost. It's basically a big square with little squares cut out of the bottom 2 corners. You'll see it. And there's different sizes of it. I'm making the largest size, and so I laid out all my swatches in it, and I do not have enough swatches. So I'll pick up my phone and show you what everything looks like in a second, but I've used almost all my swatches. I have 5 more left after laying all of these out, and so I think I am going to have to kind of add in some more swatches, which there's instructions for, but I'll just have to decide, you know, where on each panel I want to add in and where I want to just start sewing together. So I'm gonna have to make a nice pattern of both. So yeah, all right. I'll show you what I've been working on, and I'll give you an update once I've figured out kind of the layout and what yarns I want to use for additional swatches. Okay, so here is the layout of the first panel, and then here are the leftover swatches that I'll use. So this panel looks good, and we'll figure out the next one. Okay, I've done my preliminary layouts, figured out the 2 sides, and I have 2 piles of swatches for each side. So this is the first side, I guess, it doesn't really matter. And this is the second one. I definitely need, I think I need about 6 more swatches of different sizes. So there are instructions in the pattern for adding on more swatches while you're sewing everything together. So I'll just start sewing things together probably tonight. I just wanted to do the layout while it was bright out, but probably tonight I'll sit down, start sewing together. I've got a lot of sewing to do, and figure out the exact dimensions of the swatches I need to add, and kind of pull from my stash some leftovers I could use up to fill in those areas. Okay, oh, hi Fig. Okay, so So I may have hyperfixated a little, and I've finished sewing together the first panel. I still need to add a swatch in here and then at the bottom here. It's definitely not sitting nicely right now, but I didn't really expect it to. I think that maybe I'll block it. Probably not full soak block it, but maybe I'll steam block it to get things to kind of even out a little bit more. But I'm pretty happy with sewing them together. Like, I mean, this one's a little bunchy, but overall, it's gonna be a bag. It's gonna be fine. And the top is not even currently, but I have to pick up stitches on the top, so that'll even out too. So feel excited about where this is going. Next steps are make the other panel. Well, I have to sew together all the pieces for the other panel, and then I think I'll decide once I've sewn all the pieces together what other swatches to add where. I want to add in a color work one. I have the chart for it that I want to add, and maybe this would be a good spot because it's a pretty big area. So at least one color work one, and then I have like a stitch a day calendar, and so I took some pictures of some of the patterns from that stitch a day calendar that I've been really interested in that I'd like to add in. So I'll have some spots to add in, and then I pulled a bunch of different yarns in all kinds of colors that I could use. So I will assess once I've put together the gauge swatches that I already have made up, what's left, and we'll go from there. But hey, for having nothing this morning, I sewed all these together, so that's cool. It's funny, I used to really hate like mattress stitch or sewing knit things together, but now that I don't do it all that often, since I mostly make seamless garments, it's pretty relaxing. So maybe I'd consider doing more seaming going forward because it does add strength to a garment. So yeah, this is fun. Look, this is the first and only granny square I've ever made, and I was able to put it in, so that's cool. But okay, yep, I'll talk tomorrow. Okay, bye. Hi, I just wanted to quickly show what I've been up to today and in the middle of work. Just took a break to pin everything out for the panel that I sewed together last night, and it's definitely a little knobbly, not fully even, but it does fit the dimensions pretty well. I decided to just put the tape I made yesterday on one of my blocking mats, and so I did that, and now I have them all laid out, and I need 2 more swatches. I need a 6x4 swatch and a 3x5. So that is my next step here, is to finish off this panel. I'll probably also steam block it just to try to even everything out. It is kitty playtime. But yeah, try to even everything out. I don't really feel like wet blocking this. Plus, all of these swatches have been blocked before, so I don't know how much I'd get out of that, but I think if I pin it, keep it pinned, and just kind of steam it, try to relax everything, that'll help. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with this, and now I need to go do my job that actually pays me. Okay, bye. Hi. I just wanted to check in quickly while I'm working on sewing two pieces together. I started sewing pieces together today, just, I don't know, between meetings and stuff at work. And yeah, just slowly sewing things. I think that the second panel is going to be a lot smoother. I'm taking a lot more effort to kind of make sure things are laying flat when I sew them together. So nice thing is, like, bags have a front and a back. So this side, if it looks better, will just be my front. So that's fine. And I think, you know, once the bag is all together, the evenness won't fully matter because it's like going to be 3D instead of laying flat. So yeah, things are going well. I'm really just enjoying sewing, which is weird for me. I used to hate it. It's a lot of the reason why I stopped buying like kit projects. Also, I'm sorry if you can hear my cat eating. I normally use a microphone, but I don't want to grab my microphone right now because I'm just working on this for like 10 minutes before I go to bed. But here, I did show you why I'm really enjoying seaming, which if you've ever done seaming before, this is not revolutionary, but I'm doing mattress stitch to sew all these bits together. And so, you know, I'm going through sewing them all. You can kind of see the stitches I'm creating. And then the best part, how can I, oh my gosh, holding this up. I'm holding it and then I get to kind of pull it tight. And now it just like perfectly, I've got to re-scrunch it out, but yeah, now it just perfectly aligns and sits together. So I find that very satisfying. I think just because I'm not sewing something huge together, it doesn't feel like a horrible task anymore, which is nice. But yeah, here's how this is currently looking. It's kind of a mess. I need to sew a bunch of pieces together, but the second panel is taking shape, things are attached, and I've still got, I don't know, let's see, these 4 tiny swatches to attach on. So I will do that, and then once I know the dimensions of all the other things I need to add in, I will do that. So it's coming together. Very, very happy about it. Very excited. And here's, you've seen this one a million times, but here's the other panel. So yep, just gonna be sewing for like a while, which is fine. It's relaxing. So okay, I'm rambling. It's past my bedtime. Bye. Hello. Whipping out the microphone for one of the first times, maybe the first time in this video. So hopefully the audio hasn't been too bad so far, but it's kind of hard to have like a more casual vlog style video if you have to then plug in a microphone every time you want to film. So, but trying to balance the two. As you can see here, I have my second panel. The already completed swatches are all pinned out, sewn together, and I'm about to steam block it. So I have it pinned on my mat. And then I also have this one. So between the two, I need 5 more swatches, which I can make pretty easily. I have a plan of which stitch patterns I'm going to do for each. And then I have just a bunch of yarn to choose from for my swatches. So I think this is going to be kind of like a fun time to just play with the swatches, to finish up this part of the project. This swatch here is for a current whip, so I really hope I don't regret putting the swatch into the bag already, because it might play yarn chicken with that project, but like, I think it's going to be fine. I think it's fine. I decided that the need to do the swatch bag was bigger than the potential need to use, you know, probably 10 yards. No, it's probably more than 10 yards. 20 yards. I don't know how many yards it would be. Probably 20 yards up the yarn. So it's going in the project bag, and hopefully I don't regret that. But yeah, this has come together really quickly, actually. And yeah, so tonight I'm going to start the swatches, maybe get like 2, maybe 3 done. We'll see. And then I'm also I like going on walks every day, or not every day, but frequently. And so I'm going to go walk to the Joann's by me and pick up the fabric for the lining. I think I just need a yard. So I need a yard of fabric and a drawstring. So yeah, this project is moving along nicely, and I'm excited about that. I figured I could talk a little bit about the process of steam blocking for those who've never done it before, or the benefits, or just like why I'm doing it for this project. And I just figured, first of all, I use steam blocking a lot because it is a quicker process than wet blocking. Instead of soaking it for a while and then leaving something to dry for like 24 hours, steam blocked things usually dry within 2 hours, I'd say, most of the time. It also, I can pin first, kind of see where the shape is laying, and then block while it's pinned, like I've been doing with this bag. And given the amount of different fibers I'm combining, I don't really want to soak this all together. I don't know if any of these dyes would bleed, especially like this blue swatch here. I dyed that myself, so I would hate to block it then with the purple that's right next to it and have it bleed. So I just figured it would be the easiest thing to steam block everything. And my goal is just to even things out a little bit and get as close as possible to the dimensions of the pattern. And yeah, steam blocking is generally good for all fibers. You want to be careful because it is warm, but I'm getting close to the fabric, but I'm not touching the steam directly to the fabric, and I'm just getting it wet. So yeah, I don't know. That's probably not new information to a lot of you, but I always try to include a little bit about why I do something, or just talk through my processes more, see if, maybe you know something more than me and would love to share about, hey, I'm doing steam blocking wrong, or another technique that you would recommend, let me know. Or if it's interesting to hear about processes I'm using, let me know. But yeah, it's pretty methodical. The one thing about steam blocking that I hate is, oh, Kepler, as I'm talking, my cat is getting into yarn. God, I leave my project bag unattended, not even unattended, I'm right next to it for 2 minutes, and he's done. I'm trying to get you an angle. That. It's fine. He just pulled. Are you freaking kidding me? God. He's very much on something with the yarn, but it's not that bad. He's especially attracted to trying to get into this project bag. I don't know why. Something about the canvas, or he's had good luck with that before, and this project is especially attractive to a little kitty because it's so many different balls of yarn to play with at once. So, gosh, he is what makes my crafting the most complicated. Just having to deal with this little guy who wants to steal the yarn and play with it and bite it, and has learned to open drawstrings and zippers and Velcro, and he hasn't learned snaps yet, so snaps are safe from him. And he learned how to open the cabinet of our TV stand. He's very smart, and he's very driven to get to the yarn, which is an incredibly frustrating combination of things because he just likes to bite the yarn and fling it around the house. So I'm learning to just accept when he messes with stuff. It's just yarn. It can be untangled even if it takes a few hours, but he also loves pulling blocking pins out, so he's going to try to pull a pin out of the swatch bag. Get off. Kepler. Come on. Crafting with pets is a humbling experience. It's the next day after I went to the craft store to get the fabric. I could not film last night. I was very tired, but I got 2 fabric squares. It ended up being cheaper just to buy 2, fabric quarters. So it's 18 by 21 inches or 45.72 by 53.35 centimeters. So yeah, that ended up being cheaper. So I just bought 2 of these for my 2 pieces, and I think that the neutral color is going to go well. It's pretty close to this color, and it's not like offensive with any of the colors. It's just like a gray, called it a gray. It's like a grayish, so easy enough. And then I also got 2 yards of gray cord. So I have all my supplies now to make the bag, and I just need to swatch some more to fill the gaps. So I did also make a swatch last night. I made this guy, which is so cute. It's not blocked yet, so it's not sitting super flat, but it looks like that. And originally I was gonna make 5 more swatches, but I think I can combine 2 of them. So I was gonna make 5 total swatches. So I would have 4 more left after this one, but there's an area where I was gonna put 2 swatches, and I think I'm just gonna put 1 because it's easier to make 1 rather than 2. So I'm gonna make 3 more swatches. Maybe I can do them all tonight. 1 will be a cable, and then the other 2 will be some sort of texture. So we'll see if I can do that tonight. I hope so. I'll give an update either at the end of the night or if I'm really tired tomorrow. And hopefully I'm blocking all my swatches by tomorrow so that I can finish this bag soon. Okay. Oh, it's the next day. I yet again got too tired to film at the end of my day. But I got 2 more swatches done. So I have this cool cabled kind of wavy swatch. Sorry if you can hear a cat in the background. And then I've got this just garter swatch that will stretch out quite a bit in blocking, I'm hoping. So those 2 are done. So I have 3 swatches total, 1 left to do that I'll probably just do kind of in the middle of my day as I'm got some meetings I can knit through. And yeah, I'd rather get these 3 or the 4 blocking earlier rather than later so that maybe tonight I can sew them in. We'll see. But yeah, I love this one. This is such a cool pattern. It was kind of annoying to do. It's like every 4th row is a cable row and every single stitch in that row gets cabled, but it's really cool. It looks really pretty. So yep, great swatches, and I'm kind of almost there on this, which is exciting. I'm on the last few rows of my last swatch. I decided to marl these 2 yarns together. They're both just like fingering weight sock yarns, and I'm liking this fabric. I'm kind of tempted just for some like added texture variety to actually sew with the purl side facing out, but I don't know, the marl on this side is more apparent and like appealing, so I'll probably go this side, but keep that as an option. Okay, I've blocked the swatches and now just need them to dry. Here's 3 of them. I love this one. I really want to work up this pattern. The color work came from the Summerlee Designs book of socks, and I definitely need to make the socks in that book after seeing this pattern. And then I've got my cables and then the garter swatch. This swatch I don't have enough room on my blocking mat for, and it's just stockinette, so it's drying pretty well just laid flat, so I'm just putting it next to it. And yeah, I think they should dry quick. It's a nice sunny warm day, so hopefully by this evening I'm sewing everything together. We'll see. Okay. I've finished sewing I've finished sewing the panels, and now I need to sew them together. I also, probably pretty poorly, but good enough, cut out my lining. I did not wash or iron the fabric, and I just loosely traced with seam allowance. So I'm not a seamstress. It's gonna be fine. I'm going to my mom's tomorrow. She has a sewing machine and will help me sew that part, so she can see if she's annoyed with how I cut out the fabric, but I had to cut it out before I could sew these together, so it's fine. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with my panels. Yeah, here's 1 and 2. They're roughly the same size. And then I started sewing in or weaving in all the ends, and then I decided that I didn't want to do that, and so I just cut them not all the way short, but pretty short, and it's gonna be a lined bag. I don't need to sew in all the ends perfectly, so yeah, things are coming together. Next time we talk, I'll have a 3D object, so cool. All right, I managed to get no footage of me seaming the bag or picking up stitches for the drawstring casing, but here I am with my mom sewing. The first clip was us picking up or pinning together the pieces. Here I am sewing, pretty terribly, but excited. This is one of my mom's cats, Mocha. She's super sweet, and here we are sewing together. She definitely makes things difficult, and you can also tell that my mom filmed these clips. Love her dearly. And here's my mom sewing the majority of the bag together. She just thought it would be easier to let if she did it, so she took over after I did some of the easy seams, and here is the finishing of that. And here is Mocha again taking a little break to sit on all of the swatches together. And the next step after sewing the lining was to make sure that it actually fit inside of the exterior. So here's what I'm doing in these clips, and it did. And here I am holding it up, showing it off before I have to finish the drawstring and sew it down. I'm here with my mom sewing the bag, or the lining, but she kicked me off sewing duty for the hem. So I'm back to knitting the drawstring. I realized I haven't shown yet. This morning I finished sewing the bag together. It's really big. And I picked up stitches for the drawstring casing. So I'm just gonna knit on that while she figures out the hem. As I said, I am not a sewist, so she will help me there. She's laughing at me. But yeah, the next time I see you, I'll have an almost finished bag. Yay! it. So last night, Saturday, I got home from sewing with my mom, finished the drawstring casings, sewed in the lining, and added the drawstrings, and now I have a bag. It's it's really cool. I love, like, it's mostly pretty neutral or lighter colors just because that's my color palette. But yeah, it's got a few pops of like this color, this bright color. And I like the fact that there's not really like a cohesive color palette exactly. Like it's just random colors, but they all work together because they're all things that I've swatched and knit in the past. Mostly this one I swatched for this project, same with this one and this one. But then the rest of these are all yarns I've used for garments. Oh, except for I sample knit with this. So the rest of the colors, though, have all been used for garments, which means that, you know, they already are kind of in my own cohesive color palette. So I feel like this bag is kind of a little picture of my personal color palette, which is awesome. I've already put a whip in it, so I have my Eva cardigan in this bag now, and yeah, it's awesome. I mean, the two things I'd maybe change is maybe make the drawstrings a little bit longer. It's not worth buying more rope for, but each drawstring is a yard, and maybe they could be like a yard and a half just to have a little bit more on the side here, but it opens mostly all the way. And yeah, it's a big bag. It fits a lot. Like this is going to be a sweater project bag, definitely. I also definitely, I'm not a sewist. I've said many, many times in this video. So it's like kind of poorly attached. I don't know if it's poorly attached. I did a lot of stitches to make sure it's stable on there, but it's definitely uglyly attached. Is that a word? Probably not. It doesn't look very good the way it's attached, but it's on the inside of the bag. So I don't really care. Like even this spot, there was a little bit of extra fabric, so I just folded it. So definitely could have done better with the attachment, but I'm happy with it. It's gonna serve me well, and it's a little picture of all my projects, and then it'll continue to kind of have more memories of projects in it as I put whips in it and work on things from within this bag. So I think it's really, really cool. I did not sew in all the ends, which is mostly fine because it's, you know, between the lining, but there's a bunch of like, I have this swatch and this swatch, which are very holy. And I guess this crochet granny square too. So sometimes I see like a little end. I don't know if you can even see that. There's a little end like right there, but I can just kind of move them. The bag's stable at least, and I was not about to weave in 100 ends for them to all be covered. So yeah, it's so cute. And this took me a week in total. So it's pretty reasonable, quick project. It's a lot of sewing, but it's a fun way to use up your scraps, and it's really cool. The pattern, I will say, is pretty bare bones. There are videos in the pattern, which is helpful, but they're, I don't know what language they're in, but they're not in English. So if you are an English speaker only, the videos are not the most helpful. I mean, it's good to see it, but there's not subtitles or captions in English. So it's kind of, you have to be able to figure out what's happening. You can't rely on the explanation and the pattern itself. Like my mom yesterday with the sewing pattern was looking at it and it's like, this is all they have for like how to sew the lining, which it was enough. We got the lining in. It's a pretty simple concept overall, so it was really helpful to have the guide of like how to sew things together, where to lay things out, and made something cool with it. But it's a simple pattern, but it is like it's what you need. So yeah, I got this out of it. Drawstring casing guidelines are really helpful. Like nothing bad about the pattern, just know it's bare bones. But that's fine. But yeah, okay, I'm rambling now, but I'm really happy with my finished object, and thank you for following along this week as I made this. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you would make something like this with all your swatches, or if you like to save your swatches. Like, I would just love to hear what do you do with your swatches. So let me know down below, and I'll see you next week. Okay.